Hi everyone, hope everyone is well. This evening I am playing Napoleon's Eagles. This is the 100 Days, the Waterloo campaign, June 1815 of course. I have played a few of the other scenarios from this game, such as Quatre Bras and Ligny, but tonight I'm playing the main Waterloo scenario itself. I've got it set up on one of my other tables in this room, so let's have a look. I have enjoyed this game immensely, and I've been looking forward to getting one of the biggest scenarios onto the table. So yeah, let's have a look. So we've got the game all set up, and I'll just talk through it briefly before I start to play. So we've got the three wings here, A, B, and C, and we've got the location objectives here. And then we've got the allies on the right hand side here, and there are a range of cards for the various different corps, as well as the leaders. So we've got the Earl of Uxbridge and Wellington, etc., etc. And then on the, the allies, we should call them the coalition, of course. And then on the left-hand side, we've got all the French. And as you can see, both sides pretty much start with their cards, with their units in the reserves. So we've got the Allied Reserve just there. We've got the West Reserve for the French just here. And what I've tried to do is organise the cards to try and keep the game in one shot, one frame. So it's physically, the cards are a little bit closer than I probably would suggest if you were playing at home, but it enables me to film it in one frame of a shot. And the French, we've got a lot of different unit cards here. So for example, we've got our Old Guard at the top, Guard Cavalry, Young Guard, and various divisions, Cavalry Corps here as well. And as I said, on the coalition side, I've stacked the cards according to the setup. So there's numerous cards in these stacks here. And then what I'll be doing as I play through, I'll be taking the cards from the French, put them into the three wings here. Now these two wings here are from the coalition side are closed until turn 4. And I think, well, sorry, that's not strictly true. Frontline wing E is closed until turn 3, and frontline D, so the wing D there, is closed until turn 4. And I'm pretty sure there are 5 turns to the game. And then we've got Prussian reinforcements, who will be entering in this reserve here, down here. So we've got those British units, etc., on the Allied reserve. So I think I'm broadly speaking all set up. There are some special rules. So for example, one of the rules I just want to call out is the stacking limit per wing is 4. So you can't just pile all the cards into one wing, for example. And there are some special rules around the Prussians arriving, as you would expect. I don't need to worry too much about that until turns 3. There are some special rules about the Old Guard. Basically, if the Old Guard attack and doesn't terribly go well, that's not good for the French. There are victory points. I'm just having a look at the victory conditions. If one army breaks the other, that is a major victory. And then there are some victory points that you can earn by demoralizing and eliminating the opposing units. So there's more cards as you can see compared to some other scenarios, but I've been able to orchestrate it in such a way to keep it on the table, which is I'm very pleased with it, and it looks great. Especially as I start to move these unit cards, the divisions into the different wings. So with no we're not. Just going to check through some of the rules again, and then I will start with the first turn. And what I always do with my AARs, I will play the game off camera, and then I'll give an account at the end of the turn describing the action that took place, the narrative that took place during that turn, and any other mechanics, game mechanics and rules, etc. that I think are pertinent to what occurred in the turn. So I'll make a start. Now, at the end of the first turn, and this is a reoccurring theme in this turn, the French attacked every single wing, and every single time were pushed back by the coalition forces. So much so that they've lost all their wings. They were pushed back into the reserve and lost numerous demoralisation points. And the coalition were then able to attack the reserve and inflict even more demoralisation points onto the French. Every single card play seemed to go in favour of the coalition and against the French. They simply in all three wings, the battle took quite a few turns. It was the French would attack and push back, and then the British would attack. French would attack, the British would attack, and so forth. So you can imagine the maelstrom of combat, both artillery, horse, and foot. But simply, the coalition defence is just too strong. So at the end of turn one, the French army has 6 demoralisation points, which is pretty catastrophic. I will play turn 2. This is one of those sort of stages in the game. I'm almost tempted to restart, but it's not because of anything other than the cards. The cards just everything went in favour of the coalition. So we'll do turn 2. I'm not sure we're going to get to the Prussians coming on. I don't think they need to at the minute. I think French just threw everything. Now, one of the decisions I made, and maybe this is part of the reason it just didn't work for the French, I did not put the guard into one of the wings. I kept the guard back for a really just sort of thematic feeling, and maybe that didn't work. Through everything else the French had at the wings, but the coalition just too strong. And so maybe not putting the guard in. Now, because of the sort of what adds weight to that, really against the French, is the next turn, the French aren't really going to be able to put anything into the wings. The French are going to have to sort of lick their wounds, as it were, in the reserve. And the reserve is out of command. So the rallying is going to be a bit harder for the French. We have both sides have horse in the HTC, so we'll see if they can come back on as well, including the guard heavy cavalry as well. So maybe that was a mistake. But it's great experience, to be honest with you, going through the cards, and I do really, really enjoy this game. And actually, it didn't take as long to play that turn as I thought it would be. So I will do turn 2 next, and then we'll see where we are at the end of turn number 2. So end of turn number 2, as I sort of predicted, really, the coalition just inflicted another demoralisation on the French. The French were able to sort of, contain the attacks into their reserve in terms of the game mechanics. So nothing too eventful. It really didn't take very long to play at all. But what it does mean that the French will have some units to put back into the wings in the next turn number 3. Not a huge amount, but they will have some. Probably going to have to focus them on one wing to try and take a wing. And with it being turn number 3, I just need to double check. I believe some of the Prussians will be entering the table as well. So I'll tidy all up, go through how the Prussians enter, and sort all that out ready for turn number 3. Yeah, so at the end of turn 3, not surprisingly, really, it's a victory to the coalition and the Prussians. The French did, however, make some headway on the wing at the top at Hougoumont, but the rest of the wings just crumbled, and the coalition and then the Prussians were able to push through and inflict the necessary demoralisation points to the French force and gain a victory. So not the Waterloo outcome that Napoleon was looking for, and a victory to the coalition, and of course the Prussians as well. And it was I think it was probably the beginning, the very first turn. Probably should have put the guard in on that first turn. I should make a note of that for future playthroughs. I just held them back just a little bit too long. They were very good. The old guard very good with the guard artillery on that top wing there, for example. So probably should have brought them in at the beginning of the game. And that's the great thing about playing games like this solo. It didn't actually take that long to play this. A couple of hours to set it all up and play through, and of course stop and make these sort of clips. So if you could probably play it with someone else much quicker, or even on your own much quicker, and then you could run through it again with using different tactics, etc. And I think looking back, I think also like I said, the cards. A lot of the cards went in favour of the coalition consistently in this evening's game. That was extremely enjoyable. I do really like this game series. I like the rule sets, and it looks great on the table. Very rich and flavoursome in terms of its topic, its thematic. And I love the combat mechanics, and all the mechanics indeed. Now, I have covered some of the other scenarios that you get with this game, so please check those videos out. If you're interested on a review, I did review the first game in the series, and this game plays pretty much identical in terms of its mechanics. So please have a look at that as well. And yeah, I think I will pack all this away and look forward to getting it out to the table again. I think I probably actually would go straight in and play this Waterloo scenario again. I was always a little bit like, oh, is it going to be too big on the table with so many wings? But it fit on the table absolutely fine. You do need a fair space. This table is 6x4. You could play it on smaller than that. No two ways about it. If you've played this game, please leave a comment in the comment section. And thanks a lot for watching as always. Thank you.